From my heart to yours, namaste. Welcome to Yoga with Dennis. Safe Harbor Removing Mental Stuckness is a 40-minute guided meditation. Hi, Cappy. So first, before you begin, please create your safe harbor. A space that's warm and comfortable. I envision the meditation being lying down on your yoga mat or your bed. If you prefer to do the meditation standing or sitting, of course, this is your practice, not mine. Be sure that you have a space where you won't be interrupted for 40 minutes. Turn off any alarms or buzzers. You might want to have a blanket handy because you won't be moving for 40 minutes. I recommend putting on some music that you choose, or perhaps ambient sound. If you're from the seashore, perhaps the sea. If you're from the mountains, perhaps the sound of a mountain brook or the wind in the leaves. Or music that you find calming that allows you to focus inward. So please take your time to set up your safe harbor. And before we begin, I want to say if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. Now, take your time, set up your safe harbor, pause this video until you do, and when you're ready, press play to begin your meditation.
Feelings just seem to keep coming to mind, even when they feel unwelcome. What we focus on always grows. Growing the positive, not the negative, is what this meditation is all about. Sometimes trying hard to avoid something just brings it to mind. Traditional tantric, they actually call themselves Shivites. Meditation contemplates for each chakra the associated deity, bija mantra, Sanskrit letter on each petal of that chakra's associated lotus, and so much more. Unwelcome thoughts cannot be driven away. They can be supplanted by other thoughts. During the practice today, when unwelcome thoughts arise, release them with your exhale. Then on the inhale, bring your focus back to what I'm saying, to my voice, to your breath, to the energy moving in your body. If you aren't already lying down in a comfortable position on your mat or a bed, please do that now. Use props as much as you like. The restorative yoga asana is perfect. Once you've found comfort in your body, let the legs be soft and heavy. Extend them just enough so they can sink into the surface you're lying on. Let your heart be open. If the hands are to the outside, bring them palm face up. If they're resting on your body, let the tension in the shoulders release down to the mat, allowing the top of the ribs to be full. Begin to focus on your breath. Conscious breathing. Draw a deep inhale into the base of the belly, then the base of the ribs, all the way up to the top of the ribs till you feel the lungs completely filling with air. Allow a brief pause, then slowly release from the top of the ribs, the middle of the ribs, and last from the belly. Take a few breaths like that. Focus on the inhale, filling completely, swelling the belly, the sides of the belly, and the back body. The inhale into the base of the ribs, expanding both sides of the ribs, the back and the front of the ribs. And that inhale, that when it comes all the way up to the top of the chest, feeling the breath fill all the way up to beneath the clavicle, feel a fullness between the shoulder blades, all the way up to the shoulders. As your breath moves through each part of your body, release the muscles on the sides of the belly, the sides of the lower ribs, the shoulders, the neck, the head. Let more softness come to the core of your body, where the diaphragm is softly moving up and down. Keep the rhythm of that breath and imagine your diaphragm as it moves. The diaphragm reaches up and seamlessly becomes the pericardium, the muscle that embraces the heart. So add to that imagery the realization that with each deep inhalation, you're giving your heart a hug. The breath and the heart are our companions throughout our life on this earth. Never stopping, never ceasing, always being there with us to support us. Even when we're not aware of the breath, of the beating of the heart, they're with us. The constant companions who accompany us through our whole life. At the beginning of the next inhalation, think of drawing the breath all the way from the soles of the feet, up the legs, into the belly, into the lower ribs, into the upper ribs, into the throat, into the mouth, into the skull, all the way to the top of the head. On the next inhale, add the image of the breath drawing in from the hands into the heart, along with the breath drawing all the way up the legs into the heart, then all the way to the top of the head. Feel the inhale moving energy through your whole body, all the way from the feet to the top of the head. And the exhale, releasing any tension, releasing any thoughts, releasing any stuckness anywhere in the body. Keep that image, and then on the next inhalation, bring your focus to the arches of both feet and really focus on the arches in the bottom of the feet. With the inhale, feel the soles of the feet expanding with breath. On the exhale, release any tension at the bottom of the feet. Next inhale, bring your attention right into the ankles, into that joint. Imagine the whole ankle expanding on the inhale. On the exhale, release any stuckness. Maybe take a moment to yawn. Wiggle the tongue. Wiggle the chin. And just let any tension flow out of the head. Then with the next inhalation, return your attention to the legs. This time, focus your mind on the back of both shins. Think of breathing into that big muscle that the Achilles tendon moves into. Again, feel the muscle swelling with the inhalation. Release any stress on the exhalation. Then the knees. Bring your attention to that joint that moves with you every time you walk. And on the inhalation, imagine the ligaments, the muscles, and the bones in the knee swelling, getting more space and energy. On the exhale, release any stuckness you feel in the knees. Next inhale, focus on the outer thighs. Inhale into the outer thighs around you and the muscles there expanding. And the exhale, release the outer thighs. Then the inner thighs. Imagine inhaling right into the muscles on the inner thighs that go up into the pelvis. Inhale, they fill up with light. Exhale, they release. Then bring your attention to those big muscles on the top of the thighs. Inhale into the quadriceps, large flowing of light and energy. On the exhale, release both those muscles. Finally, the back of the legs. Bring your attention to the back of the legs and the muscles that go all the way from above the knee up into the glutes, into the back body. Inhale, imagine light flowing all the way up to the pelvis. Exhale, release. Do that another time. That's an area where we tend to carry a lot of stress. Really focus on that expansion of light on the inhalation and the complete release on the exhalation. Then bring your attention to the lower belly right above both thighs. Inhale light into the lower belly. Let it flow in through both legs, through all four corners of both legs. And then exhale, release any tension in the lower belly, in the digestive tract. Do that one more time, focusing on the organs deep in the lower belly. And exhale, release. Next, if you like, place your hands on either side of the navel. And on the inhale, bring more expansion, just as you've been doing all along, to that belly, drawing especially the energy up the legs. And exhale, let the belly completely release down into the core of the body. One more time, focusing on the organs inside. Inhale into those organs. Exhale, completely release. Then inhale into the muscles in the back body, right around the sacrum at the top of the hips. Big inhale, feel that expansion with the breath. On the exhale, completely release. Then to that space right between the hips and the ribs. Inhale, as the inhale fills the space between the hips and the ribs, feel the expansion in the back body, the front body, and both sides. And exhale, release. One more time, really focus on the belly, expanding the muscles in the back of the spine, the sides of the belly, and the exhale, release any tension. Next, bring your attention to the base of the ribs, right where the diaphragm is working for you. Inhale, think of the diaphragm widening to front to back and both sides. And then release, completely release that muscle as you exhale. Do that 2 more times. This is the muscle that works for us every time we breathe, from birth, our first inhale to our last exhale. One more time, really focus, look for tension, especially in the back of the diaphragm, and let it release. Now bring your attention to your heart. Inhale into your heart. Exhale, release any tension in the heart. 2 more times, focusing on how the diaphragm comes up and embraces the heart. Inhale, give your heart a hug. Exhale, release. One more time, really focus on the heart and the circulatory system. Inhale, let everything fill up with light. Exhale, bring more softness. Now move your attention to the top of the rib cage above the heart on both sides. Inhale into the space between the ribs. Exhale, release. Bring your attention to the side of the ribs. Inhale to the space between the ribs on both side bodies. Inhale and release. Then the back of the ribs where they connect to the spine. Inhale into the space between the ribs all the way up to the shoulders. Exhale, release any tension you feel there. Now the hands. Let your hands softly cup. Inhale from the palm of the hands. Let light flow from the fingertips and the thumb into the palm of the hand, all the way into the heart. Exhale, release any tension in the hands. Both wrists. Big inhale into that joint. Inhale, think of the wrist expanding and all around. And exhale, completely release. The forearm, especially the muscles on the top of the forearm. Inhale into those muscles and veins and arteries. Exhale, release. Inhale into the elbows. Think of the elbows swelling with light and fullness. Exhale, release. The upper arms with the muscles on the front and the back. Inhale right into the muscles on both sides of the upper arm. Exhale, let them be soft. Then to the shoulders and the muscles that completely surround the shoulders. Inhale into the shoulders and the rotator cuffs. Exhale, release. Take 2 more big breaths into the rotator cuff that holds the top of that upper arm bone. Think of more space expanding for the bone that sits into the socket, and release. And one more time, light flowing from the hands and the feet all the way to the shoulders, and release. Now focus on the back body, right from the back of the shoulders down to the scapula. Inhale into that area, especially feel that as the lungs fill up to the top. Maybe wiggle the head a little bit to feel that more, and exhale, release. Do that 2 more times, inhaling all the way to the top of the ribs. And exhale, let the shoulders roll back. Let the whole rib cage rest on the earth. Inhale this time, bringing the breath up to the base of the throat and the back of the throat. Exhale, release. Focus on the larynx, the front of the throat. Inhale into there. And exhale. One more time, inhale onto the larynx. Exhale, make a soft murmur. Do that 2 more times. Let the vibration of that murmur on the exhalation travel all the way to the back of the neck and begin moving up to the ears. One more time. You may like to yawn when you do this. Bring your attention to the back of the skull, right between the skull and the shoulders. Inhale, expanding the flesh on either side of the spine. Exhale, release. Do that 2 more times, wiggling the nose a little bit from side to side to bring awareness to the area. Really focus on drawing a light into that area all the way to the base of the skull. On the exhale, release the back of the neck, letting the back of the neck become long and soft. One more time, inhale into the back of the neck. Exhale, release. This time, inhale the breath all the way into the back of the neck, then to the front, coming all the way up to the base of the jaw. And release. Let the jaw be soft, mouth slightly open, jawbone soft. Inhale once more into the area right at the top of the neck, back of the skull. Exhale, release completely. Bring your attention to the jaw, hinge of the jaw. Inhale into those big muscles in the sides of the jaw. Maybe wiggle the chin back and forth while you do that. Exhale, release. 2 more times. Inhale into those big muscles inside of the jaw. Space between the teeth. Chin maybe slightly moving to help you bring awareness there. One more time. Big inhalation. Soft release. Bring your attention to the inside of the mouth. Inhale into the mouth. Feel as the brush is brushing past. Let the tongue be soft. Let the soft palate and hard palate be soft. Exhale, release the back right by the soft palate at the top of the throat. One more big inhale all the way into the soft palate, up to the sinuses. Exhale, release. Now bring your attention to the skin between the jaw and the temples right beneath the eyes. Inhale into that area, especially feeling the flesh expanding beneath the temples. Exhale, release. One more time, inhaling into all sides of the skull, right around the temples, all the way from front to back. Inhale into the skull. Exhale, release. One more time. Think of the bones in the skull right around the temples and the eye sockets expanding. Bring your attention to the eyes and the sockets. Inhale into your eyes. Exhale, let the eyes soften and release back. 2 more times. Inhale into the eyes. Maybe wiggle the eyes a little bit, looking slightly from side to side to make this easier. This time, as you inhale in the eyes, bring the attention to the whole bone structure surrounding the eyes. Inhale that space through the eyebrows and the temples into the back of the eye socket, and release. Now the sides of the skull by the eye socket. Inhale, think of the bones of the skull expanding from side to side. Exhale, bring more softness to the bones and the eyes floating in the sockets. Whole circumference of the skull from above the ears to the forehead. Inhale into that whole area, thinking of the breath expanding in all directions. Exhale, let the wrinkles in the forehead and the skin on the face completely release. Now inhale into the top of the skull, above the forehead. Think of the bones of the skull slightly expanding, and on the exhale, release. Do that 2 more times. There's slight mobility between the plates of the skull. Think of them expanding and releasing with your breath. Next, inhale, bring the energy all the way from the arches of the feet, hands, up the core of the body, all the way into your hair. Think of white light flowing out through every fiber of your hair. Exhale, let that light flow all the way down through the body to the hands and the feet. Begin drawing white light in from your feet and your hands and the top of your skull into the heart with the inhalation. On the exhalation, let that light flow out through the hands, the feet, and the top of the skull. Continue with that image of breathing with the whole body. Now, with the next inhalation, imagine a flower in your heart. And as that light flows from the top of the skull in both hands and feet, imagine the petals of that flower opening. On the exhale, let the petals of the flower come together. Let it turn into a flame. Let that flame burn up anything that you want to get rid of. Any thoughts that have been coming in through this process that just won't leave you, think of offering that flame on the exhalation. Let that flame carry them all the way out through the head and both hands and the feet, flowing to the earth and the sky, falling away from you. On the inhale, think of drawing light from the stars in the night sky. Let that light completely fill you up. On the exhale, let that fire burn everything that's going out and let it flow all the way up into the night sky and light the stars. Keep drawing the light from the stars deeply into your body, opening the petals of that flower. On the exhalation, offer that light back to the night sky. Stay with that image. Begin to let yourself float in the night sky. There is no time. There is only now. There is nothing but space and light. Let yourself float in it. Think of the night sky as a pool of water that you're floating on, and offer yourself completely to the light. Let it flow in and out of you without restraint. If any thoughts come up, on the exhalation, offer them to the flame and let them throw up to the night sky. Keep this image. Don't lose the image of the energy flowing into the arches of the feet, up both legs, up into the pelvis, all the way to the heart center, from both hands, up both arms, all the way into the heart center, from the top of the head into the heart center, completely lighting up that flower, being drawn down into the navel. On the exhale, that flower becomes a flame, and you burn anything that you want to move out, moving it out from your belly into the flame, then flowing up to the stars through the head, the hands, and the feet. Let yourself float in the night sky. Bring any movements to the body that feel sweet. Let them be slow movements like a yawn, a slight opening and closing of the hands, a slight flexing and releasing of the toes. Look for movements that facilitate that energy flow. Look for movements that search for any stuck places left in the body and to release from there. As you're inhaling and exhaling, begin to scan your whole body for any place you don't feel the sensation of this energy. And if you find that such a place, we all have them, then for 2 breaths, focus on that place and flowing light into and out of that place, and let it begin to wake up and become a part of your universe. Sometimes we literally have thoughts stuck in our body. Look for the places where you don't feel that light and let the attention go there. If you don't feel anything happen, don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Just you're floating in the night sky with that light. Keep your focus strongly on the words I'm saying and the practice of flowing the light in and out. If your attention drifts, bring your attention back to that light flowing into you with the inhalation and feeling that flame with the exhalation, offering the light back to the stars. Reposition yourself anytime to feel more comfortable. Always allow soft movements in the body if that feels right. Keep breathing in this place, in this safe space. You're going to spend 10 minutes here. Keep focused. Keep soft. Keep the energy flowing. Be with that greatest being of all, yourself. If you wish to stay with this meditation, feel free to do so. If you want to begin to wake up, begin taking deeper and deeper conscious breaths. Wiggle the fingers and toes, the hands and feet, the arms and legs. Move the head around. Move the rib cage around. Wiggle the hips. As you're ready, begin to bend one leg at a time. If you have the room, roll to one side, coming to a fetal position. There, take 2 long, sweet breaths. Then, depending on whether you're on a mat on the floor on your bed, either use the strength in your hands to come up to sitting or standing. Thank you so very much for taking this journey with me today. From the light in my heart to the light in your heart. From the light in both our hearts to both of us. Namaste.